Hello, I'm Adrian Partington, Director of Music at Gloucester Cathedral, and I'm here in the song school where the choristers are rehearsed every day with my colleague Nia Llewelyn Jones, who's been conductor of the Girl Choristers for the past 5 years. Now, in common with all the ancient cathedrals, there have been boy choristers at Gloucester since time immemorial. We have records going back to 1541, so we know that they've been singing daily evensong, apart from a couple of hiatuses due to COVID and civil wars and world wars and things, but they've been singing more or less daily for 480 years. But it was with great excitement that we finally were able to introduce Girl Choristers 5 years ago in 2016, and my friend and colleague Nia has been organising and conducting the girls since then. This year we saw another step forward when all the girl choristers achieved complete parity with the boy choristers. Since 2016 the girls have been singing a lot, but not every day. But from September, the girls now sing every day in the same way that the boys sing. And the girls and boys sing an equal number of services each month. And we combine, where necessary, big occasions, but we are two separate teams, two separate bodies with their own esprit de corps. And so when we actually combine, it's thrilling. But our lives have changed, of course, since the girls have become full-time, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit now. Nia, of all the people in this establishment whose lives have changed in the last few months, yours has seen probably the greatest change. Can you just tell us how your life has changed in the last few weeks?
Yes, well, of course, it's been a very, very exciting period of time here when, at long last, the girls have equal status with the boys and all the singing opportunities that it affords them here. So previously, the girls were sort of coming in 3 times a week, right. And they would, as a rule, sing one evensong service. Sometimes they'd also sing on a Saturday with the lay clerks. And they would also join for big scale events, Christmas and Easter and that sort of thing. But the main difference now is, of course, that we have morning rehearsals with a quorum of the girls, which is not something that we've done before. And that was rather unusual at first, having had them after school, because children do respond differently at different times of the day, I think. And to have them initially yawning their heads off first thing was a bit of a shock to the system for them, I think. But now, as children always do, once they get into a routine and a rhythm, I think they're gradually getting used to that, and now they're wide-eyed and bushy-tailed first thing in the morning as well. So,
Are you?
Yes,
Good.
I am.
Me
yes.
too.
I have my porridge and my banana first thing, and I'm come in bursting with energy.
It is wonderful to have two teams, but you agree with me that, at least for the time being, it is good to keep them separate, which means that each team can develop in its own way. So I hope you agree with me that we're doing the right thing.
Absolutely, yes. I think some people may disagree, but from my experience, I've found that boys and girls are quite different, and that they respond differently, and they approach the learning process and the performing process as well in a slightly different way. So I think it's, as you say, important for them to retain that sense of special identity within their own groups. And as you say, then when they do join together, it is thrilling.
It is thrilling.
It's this sort of extra gear, the great cathedral choir when they all join together. But I do think it's important to keep them separate. I mean, I think many people would be interested to know that girls can be probably a little louder than boys when it comes to enjoying social time. And, I think it's important that they do have those opportunities as well. So it's not just sort of coming in here, singing a service and then going home, but that they do have that time to bond as well, because it's a way of life being a cathedral chorister. It's a fundamental part of their identity, at least for the time that they're here. And speaking to former choristers as well, when they look back on this special time, they think about all the fun that they had, the amazing experiences, musical that they had, the friends they made, and it is special. It is special, and I think you're absolutely right that retaining that identity is important.
Well, I think it is. Other cathedrals have gone in a different direction and they've combined the two genders, and that's fine. But I want to try and keep boys separate and the girls separate. I don't want to be the director of music that says cheerio to a boys' choir after possibly 1,000 years. So I want to try and protect that whilst giving the girls their absolutely equal status and equal opportunities. But of course, running two choirs rather than one is a jolly expensive business. And all I can say is I'm extremely grateful in these difficult times to the Dean and Chapter, who have found a lot of money for us able to do this. And the Dean and Chapter themselves are reliant on dozens of sponsors and patrons. And I think the last thing I'd like to say is that we and the music department here are extremely grateful to all of you out there who support us. It would have been easy, I think, just to have one team, but for the reasons that we've outlined, we're trying to forge ahead with two teams, and so far it's going pretty well. We sometimes have logistical problems with finding enough rooms to rehearse and that kind of thing. But I hope that the people who see this will come to hear us as we combine next Saturday, the 13th of November, in a concert, and also again 27th of November. And of course tomorrow we're singing together, boys and girls, our annual Requiem Mass, the marvellous new setting which we recorded, boys and girls, a couple of years ago, the Ian Venables Requiem. So lots to look forward to, lots I think we've achieved, and huge gratitude to everybody out there who gives us so much so that we continue with what we need to do.
I would definitely echo that, and probably say that, in so doing, that this wonderful, unique tradition is being able to continue, and that the ongoing worship of God through song it is continuing in this building, which is something that is so vital to its identity. And even more than that, that in sponsoring these children, that they're giving them a really unique and wonderful musical opportunity for them to work and operate as almost professionals, even despite their young age. And that is something that I think is not lost on them either.
No, it'll set them up for life. Choristers generally do very well in their later years. They become England cricket captains and conductors and all sorts of things. So it's a great thing that we're all combining to offer them. And having the girls as equal partners in the last few months has enriched this fantastic and unique tradition.